Right, by the way, we're going to go get a Tim's, but we're not buying anything. We're just going to get the free coffee. So everyone, no panic. Don't think I'm off the rails again. Back to eating well today, apart from the coffee. We'll get a naughty coffee just because it's a freebie, so it's like, yeah. Last little treat before back on it tonight. I might make a chili. I'll make myself a nice fresh chili tonight. I do love a cheeky chili. So we have finally reached day 100, and yet obviously, of course, to celebrate, we'll be going to our favourite place, Tim Hortons. But this time, remember, I have got a free coffee, so that's what I'm using here. But anyway, once I've got my coffee, and then it's the usual little routine where I park up in my usual space and then enjoy and talk to the stream. Just getting my little energy boost before we do some van work. There we go, and that is how we keep it hot, ladies and gents. So I did opt for a naughty coffee, as I would describe it, which has a lot of sugar in it. Normally I'd go with a black coffee, but because it was a free one, I thought I'd use it as an opportunity to have a treat. So obviously I sit here and discuss things with my live stream. If you guys are interested in watching the live content, then head over to twitch.tv/SteveyDe. But anyway, now I've had my coffee, it's time to head over to somewhere where we can start working on the van. I head over to the usual spot. You've probably seen it on here many times, but I just like the fact that there's no overheight limit and there doesn't seem to be restrictions on parking. Naughty coffee, French vanilla. It's got like a hint of, is it like a cinnamon? A little bit like a cinnamon. Let's get back to work before Leo starts kicking off. All right, let's go. Okay. I can't really do what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to treat the rust down in these little gaps and then paint. But I kind of need everything out to get round these edges. So I'm thinking we could do the insulation in the side door. That might be what I end up doing today. I think I can put board in. Yeah. Where's a tape measure? Okay. So as you can see, there's always some work to be getting on with, but it's sometimes hard to pick which one I want to do. Some tasks will come with multiple problems and will require some problem solving. And just sometimes I'm not in the right headspace to be able to tackle these issues. And as I've pretty much been working almost every day on the van, I can get pretty tired. So today I've opted to do the door insulation because this is something that has been sitting around for a while. And as I have a lot of the offcut for this soundproofing / foam insulation stuff, it made sense to use all of the offcuts so I could optimize the insulation that I bought. I will need to order some more of this, but obviously the more offcut I can use, then the less I'll need to order later on. I will start with using this as a base layer, and then I will obviously fill with some more insulation. I just don't know what I'm going to use yet. I'm thinking I might use the PIR board, but it just leaves a lot of gaps, and I'll need to figure out a way to fill the gaps, either with maybe the fluff or the expanding foam. And the issues that come with that is this door does have the wire mechanisms inside of it, so this could be problematic. Another problem and list of things to tackle and deal with. But my secret weapon here is basically just trying my best, and just each day doing a task no matter what it is. So I'm just going to keep doing, and hopefully I can figure out what to do next. So I can join the board, I can put the board in two pieces, join it with the aluminium tape, as Americans say, aluminium, and put some of the fluff around it. So here's a slight dilemma I have. You see, we've got this, and this is going to have some cables in, and well, I suppose it'll just break it. But I want to drill a couple of holes around here, and then inside this void, I want to spray in some expandable foam, get it all nice and insulated. But obviously it's going to get in there, and I don't want it to mess around with the mechanism. But then there's that part of me that's like, I suppose if it does get in the way of the mechanism, I suppose if I did that a few times, it would kind of break through the foam, right? If there was any movement stuff in there. So after a lot of consideration and trying to figure out how I'm going to move forward with this insulation, I decided to opt for the PIR board for many reasons. One being that I just have absolutely loads of it, but also, in fact, no, that is probably the main and only reason. So I decided to use the PIR board, and I've got to now cover the spaces around it with fluff or expanding foam. I decided to use some of the fluff in the higher areas just because it's less messier than expanding foam and should hopefully do a job. The only other thing that worries me about using the plastic recycled bottles is if it gets damp, it will ruin it. Well, I guess on that note of the insulation, putting another layer on top here, I think it does make, I need to order some. Just got to figure out how many I need to order. Talking 6. Another 6. My freaking neck, I keep turning it and hurting it. I need to think about the water tanks real soon. I probably want to wait till there's a bit better weather, because I need to be outside and get under the van. We're going to mount it under the van. Yeah, I'm going to also add external water outlet and the shore power outlet. So another day that wasn't filled with massive progress, but any move forward is still moving forward. And as much as that may upset some of the haters, it is still moving forward. And as usual, thank you to everyone who watches my videos and enjoying the journey. Appreciate you. Please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.